In this video, we shall talk about how private sector workers can change their job without a no objection certificate. Domestic workers, agricultural and grazing workers and fishermen comes under private sector workers. To change employer, the following steps should be followed. Step 1. Worker applies through the Ministry of Labour e-system. First step is to download and print the change employer form from the Ministry of Labour website. After printing, fill the change of employer form with all the requested information and sign the form. The form must also be signed and stamped by the new employer. The new employer's signature is enough if the worker is changing job to work in a private household. Take a picture or scan the filled form. Then you have to log in to the ministry's electronic portal using the worker's QID number and mobile number and upload a copy of the signed form. The mobile number you use to log in must be linked to your QID. Once you have entered the system, upload the completed and signed form. Step 2. Employer change number is generated. This number is called EC, Employer Change Number. After submitting the application, an employer change number will appear on the screen. This number confirms that the application has been successfully submitted. You should note down this EC number, or you just take a picture of it, or you just take a screenshot of it, because this number in the future can be used to check the status of the application. Step 3. Ministry will process the application. The ministry may reject an application if the form is not completed correctly or if the new employer does not meet the eligibility to hire new workers. The worker can check the status of his application on the Ministry of Labour website using his QID and EC number. Step 4. Worker and employers receive SMS from ministry. After processing the application, text messages, SMS, will be sent from the ministry to the worker, the old employer, and the new employer. The SMS will also include the notice period to be completed. So if the worker has worked with the employer for 2 years or less, the notice period is 1 month. But this notice period is 2 months if the worker has worked with the employer for more than 2 years. And during this notice period, the worker must continue working with his current employer unless he and his employer have mutually agreed to shorten the period. Otherwise, you have to complete your notice period. Step 5 is new employer initiates electronic contract. Upon completion of the notice period, the new employer will prepare the multilingual employment contract using Ministry of Labour's digital authentication system. This process must be completed within 3 months from the end of the worker's notice period. It means that you have to start with the new employer within 3 months of the completion of your notice period. Once all the information is filled out, the new employer will print the employment contract for the worker and the employer to sign. The worker can sign the contract if he or she agrees to its provisions. So once the contract is signed, the new employer will upload it to the ministry's website for authentication. After the employment contract is finalized, the new employer must provide a copy to the employee or worker. Step 6. Request for new Qatar ID. When the contract is authenticated, the new employer should submit a request for a new Qatar ID to the Ministry of Interior through Metraj 2 or the Ministry of Interior website. Step 7. Worker starts new job. Once the worker receives a new QID, he can start the new job. So if you want to download the copy of employment contract, you can download it at any time through MOL portal. Anyone working in private sector can change his or her job using these steps, and there is no need to get a no objection certificate from your employer.